this is a hot topic for a lot of people.
Really is. The mystery of life, right? The reincarnation cycle. Like, what do we do with it? Why are we doing it? What does it mean to us? All that stuff.
Is it
Exit,
real?
are we a rat? Are we a rat in a wheel? Wow. First of all, how'd you get into this? How's like how'd you tap into this to be able to get this? Like, oh, where do you go to tap into this knowledge to be able to get this information?
Through out-of-body experiences, and it took me a while to get here. I started doing advanced meditation technique back in 2010, and it first started showing me memories of my past lives and memories of my parallel lives and other realities. And then it amplified when I added the practice of doing that mid-sleep in the middle of the night, like the monks do. And I've been doing that for 9 years now. So every single night I get up at 3, 4 a.m., sometimes 2, and I go into these out-of-body experiences. And I have seen a lot of different things. I believe that I've been just about in every dimension. I have connected with what's called the state of samadhi, or the state of the void, the consciousness of everything. And from that perspective, you are able to observe what the soul is and get your questions answered. And I also had a quantum healing hypnosis session. That was before, that was in about 2015, maybe, when Dolores Cannon style. And I asked that question to the higher self. They allow you to bring the higher self for a conversation in that session. And so my big question was, do I have to do it? Can I get out of it? What are your recommendations? Because it's been a question on my mind through my entire life. Like, why am I here again?
Right.
Didn't I not want to come back? I also had a near-death experience. I had a real near-death experience, and then I had facilitated near-death experiences, because so I've been researching this subject pretty much since 2010, or maybe even earlier. So I've collected a whole lot of data and experiences and answers, and so I'm here to explain whatever you guys want to ask me about, based on my present day knowledge. And of course, we are works in progress, all of us. So what I will tell you today might change as I progress. But
no,
I've put about
I like that, because I'm the same way. How I used to think even a few months ago, my thoughts changed continually.
Yeah.
How do you, you said about the near-death experiences, you had one, and then you also facilitated a near-death.
Yes.
How do you facilitate one?
Well, where are you going to share this information is my question. Okay, so the facilitated near-death experiences were through use of nowadays it's considered therapeutic, the ketamine therapy. And now there are clinics and they tell you all whatever they want to tell you, that you get smarter if you go to these clinics. But back in the day, I met a practitioner who said, I can show you what's on the other side. And you want to see it? I was like, yes. So
sign me up.
Right. And I was pretty brave back then. So basically what happens is you have a mini clinical death kind of thing. In street terms, that's called K-hole. So that's ketamine induced state where everything stops. Like if anyone takes your body and looks at your body at the minute, for about 10 minutes, it looks like you're completely dead. Everything stops in the body. And but your soul is actually exploring and finding out and talking to spirits and going into dimensions. And so that was back before I knew how to do this myself without any sort of substance. So that was still when I was living in New York City. And that started my questioning things. Like I wanted to really get into how these things work.
So the
I'm
near-death
sure.
experience, okay, so that allowed you to go to the different dimensions to see things at a soul level. I want to talk about like the topic at hand here today, the reincarnation, the exiting of the reincarnation. First of all, reincarnation, from what you understand and what you've seen in your travels, what's the purpose of it? What is the exact purpose of it? Why? What is the purpose of it? And why are we literally trying to get off it if it was created to begin with?
Well, I would say that there are two different levels. One level is that the soul is experiencing, having different types of experiences and collecting information and collecting the knowledge. And if you look at the soul as a overall, what is it? Like if you look at the oversoul, the entire fabric of the soul, the bigger one that's not just in this body or around this body, but the oversoul, that's the fabric of reality. That's the fabric of what creates everything. That's just pure energy and consciousness. That's it. But let's imagine that there's an octopus, right? So the whole body of an octopus is that. And then a little tentacle goes into each individual world to have experience and collect information, bring it back to that bigger form of the body, let's just say. We're not separate from it. We're always connected to it. Once we come into the physicality of the experience, we completely forget that we're connected to it. So from that perspective, we can say that it's for the purpose of collecting information. That's what is being said, and that's the common idea. There's another idea that I subscribe to because I have seen these beings in my own travels, in the sessions that I facilitated for people who were passing at that moment, and also in the sessions that I facilitated for others and for myself, and in quantum healing hypnosis session for myself. So there's a whole lot of information here. So there are beings around this plane that once you enter by free will. You jump into this incarnation by free will. I actually remembered how I decided to come on Earth. In one of my meditations, I remembered how I decided to come into this earth plane. But once you come into the earth plane and you drop into the physical form, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a human form to start with, could be any form as long as it's physical, you are retained here. So you're retained here from one perspective, maybe to collect information in this dimension, or you're retained here to continue your incarnation based on the law of attraction, which we call karma, and to continue providing the energy to the layers that are around the earth plane, the lower dimensional layers that are collecting that energy, the energy of suffering that feeds this type of consciousness, the consciousness in charge of reincarnation cycle. So this is something that I have seen. I've seen these beings. I've seen
what are these beings? Are they like reptoids, antoids? Are they spirit beings? Are they
I know, now I'm gonna cry. So I mean, I'm literally getting my mom back.
Wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I was losing her, so you know, for whatever reason, whether it was because of 3 of these or not, I'm getting my mom back.
Oh, God bless you,
I'm
Julia.
so grateful.
Wow. And you're crediting it to this, or there's a big part of that? You really
It
are?
started happening when this started happening.
Wow.
and then I saw something happen with skin lesions just falling off my friend's body. And I'm like, okay, it's not a placebo. This is real.